Hello everyone, welcome back. Let's have a look at a couple of these coins. We're mainly just going to focus on XRP on this video. Obviously going to look at Bitcoin, but I'm also very interested in the traditional markets, so I'm pretty much ready and primed to do some top trading on those assets on Bityard at the moment. Obviously being able to trade on Bityard gives you the ability not just to trade in all the Bitcoin, but you can also trade in all these other cryptocurrencies, but a nice bit of commodity and indices trading. So the Nasdaq is one of the things I'm looking at. Now the reason I'm thinking about trading Nasdaq over these altcoins and Bitcoin at the moment is because that they have rallied significantly over the weekend. They, to me, feel like they want to consolidate a little bit or maybe drop a little bit, even though the Dixie is falling out of the sky. This is the monthly. We should be trying to catch a bounce here. It's been a very anemic bounce, and don't think we're going to get that bounce. It doesn't look like we're going to get it. But that said, that will lend itself to all traditional markets, stocks, commodities and cryptocurrencies. But as Bitcoin has rallied so significantly already over the weekend, I think I'm going to try and focus on trading maybe the Nasdaq and possibly some gold on here. So I'm waiting to catch a nice bounce. I suggest you set yourself an account up with Bitsgap, because it is definitely worth having the ability to trade traditional markets on top of cryptocurrency, all obviously in Tether, and then obviously you can transfer that into your spot account on Bityard. So, in that respect, it's actually a very valuable tool. You don't get this kind of thing on Binance or any other platform that I know of. And anyway, they make it nice and easy for you to do that. So I'm getting ready. I'm looking to perhaps maybe catch a bounce on this one if we were to come down or break above this level. So on the Nasdaq, we are looking to break above 12,469. Once we get above there, I would be looking to go a nice long, and obviously the fees are extremely low on this on Bityard. So very interested in catching that bounce and catching that move up. I mean, the bounce has already taken place, obviously, but because traditional markets don't trade over the weekend, now the Dixie is going down. I think this might be the opportunity to actually go full steam ahead on traditional markets as the not a breakdown but a cooling off period takes place, perhaps for today when it comes to cryptocurrency. So let's have a look at XRP. So the way I interpret this chart, and this is on the weekly, is that obviously we had a massive rally. We've now had the Flare token sold off and XRP being sold off as well, and I am now looking to see this consolidate to a reasonable level before it can start to reaccumulate. So you can look at this on the weekly, and one thing I'd be looking to see would be for it to reaccumulate on these two indicators here. So we've got the 7 simple, we've also got the 10 exponential and the 20 simple moving average. They both give massive drops if we're looking to buy them back at these levels. I'm not saying that these will happen, but the first drop would bring us down. If it were to happen today, for instance, these are moving up, these indicators, and they will continue to move up provided that we're above them. So the first drop could bring us down another 7.5%, the second one could bring us down as much as 12.5%, and the biggest drop would be about 35%. Now, this doesn't necessarily need to correspond to Bitcoin. It could go up and XRP could still go down, because the news has been sold. The rumour was bought and the news has been sold. People are now getting their airdrops, they're getting rid of this asset, they want it to move into other areas. They don't want to necessarily hold on to a coin when they can see other coins moving in better ways. Or like me personally, I wouldn't really want to trade this when I've got the ability to trade traditional markets on a day like today, where things are looking pretty obvious that would be the best place for me to trade with. So I don't want to be holding any tokens on this. I've sold this a long while back anyway. I wasn't bothered about getting the airdrop. I was looking to trade this, and we traded it all the way up, and we started to trade it back down, and now basically I'm leaving it, and I will be buying it back up, but I'm going to go trading in other areas to accumulate more tether so I can buy it back at one of these points and maybe stagger my buys back in. So if we can have a look at the daily chart, what we see is we are this is a very large range. I mean, from the top to the bottom here, that's a 28% range on that Bollinger Band. That in any circumstance is enormous, but we are beneath all major moving averages, and we are at the bottom, and we're not really catching much of a bounce despite the rest of the market actually doing quite well. So I would imagine that this would break down. So if we have a look at some of these areas where we could fall down to, the 50 exponential is about 45, so that corresponds to the 7 simple on the weekly, and the 200 exponential is around 31, so actually that would come down to From what I remember, that's about the centre of the Bollinger Band on the weekly. Yeah, thereabouts. So actually, that's not out of the realms of possibility, and that could be reasonably likely. Now, I'm giving you price targets there, but the targets aren't the thing. It's not those prices that are the thing to look at. It's the moving averages. They're the things to look at. They're the things that are going to offer us support at this moment in time. We're not going to be looking at price levels to be buying this back at. We're going to be looking at moving averages and the confluence between different time frames. Now, if we have a look here, all I can say on Bitcoin is that we are above these levels, and we could come down to test this, which was the resistance, and now it could quite easily be the support. But we've already tested this blue box territory here as support, which basically looks good to go. So we're going to be trading within this range here, in my opinion, between 19,000 to 19,400. Whichever one breaks will bring us down to this support, or if it breaks above here, it'll take us back up to a previous all-time high. Anyway, I'll leave it with you there, but I would definitely suggest you set yourself an account up at Bityard, just to give you that other option to do spot trading, margin trading, and traditional market trading, just on days like today, where you fancy mixing it up a bit, and some of these signals are relatively obvious, and how this is going to correspond to things like the Nasdaq and gold, and obviously oil. All these other things, they do work out in many ways a safer trade than you would do in cryptocurrency, where you're looking at things like Bitcoin and trying to work out how that's going to correspond onto other areas. Anyway, I'm going to leave it with you there, but thank you for watching, and take it easy.